Hi there, my name is Derek, and welcome to GamerBody. In this video, I'm doing a review on the UnderSun resistance loop bands. It's been a little over a month of testing, so I've got to use them a bit, and here is my final review on this product. So for a quick description, the UnderSun loop bands are 5 different orange colored bands that come in different thicknesses that produce more resistance depending on which band that you choose. Now, UnderSun also makes resistance bands gloves that you can purchase with this product, which I went ahead and did, and I'll get into that in a second, but just know I did buy their gloves as well to test out to see if they are any better than using them without. Alright, so I purchased the UnderSun resistance bands on March 11th, 2020 off of Amazon.com. And again, I purchased the resistance bands with the gloves, and these are sold separately, so just note you don't get the gloves if you purchased the bands themselves. You have to buy them as separate objects. So on Amazon, I bought these for $88.95 for the bands themselves. Again, this is just for the bands, just the 5 bands, a bag, and the little card inside. It is $88.95 for when I purchased them on March 11th. Now, the resistance bands gloves, which are sold separately, were $34.95. I did purchase these 2 items together, and because of that, the tax on the items were $10.22. This makes the total $134.12 for both the UnderSun resistance bands and the gloves. So what do you receive when you buy the UnderSun bands and gloves? Now, if you haven't looked already, please take a look at the description, as I do have a full unboxing for the day that I bought it for the UnderSun resistance bands, so you can see exactly what you get when you open the box. But I'm going to do a quick recap here, so let's take a look at the items you receive. So first off, you'll receive 5 different orange colored bands that come in different thicknesses per the resistance that are provided. I'm going to quickly rattle off the different resistance weights going from least to greatest. First, we have our X Lite band, which is the smallest and thinnest band, and this comes from 5 to 15 pounds of resistance. The next band is the light band, which comes in from 15 to 25 pounds. Next, we've reached our medium band, which is 30 to 60 pounds of resistance. Our heavy band is next, and this band comes in at 45 to 100 pounds of resistance. And the last band, which is the X heavy band, comes in with a 50 to 120 pounds of resistance. So along with those 5 bands, you'll also get an orange drawstring bag that you can put all the bands in. You will also receive a thank you card, which has both the warranty information, and if you want to get their current programs, you can put in the code to register your product and take a look at the TA2 programs from their website. Now, quick note, I did not look at any of their programming. I strictly want to try these out with my personal home workouts. Also, with the gloves, I purchased the gloves separately, of course, and what you get are 2 black UnderSun gloves that I bought large so they fit my hands. And it's just the gloves themselves, nothing else. Alright, so I quickly want to go over how I use these resistance bands for my personal workouts at home. So I went and I swapped out the bands to be used in the following exercises. I used them for the overhead press. I use them a lot for bent over rows. I also use them to perform my deadlifts, as well as some squats. I tried them out with my bicep curls, also tested them for my overhead tricep extensions, and lastly, and probably one of my favorite exercises to use them with, are the cable crunches. So now those are some of the exercises I use these bands with. Let's take a look at my pros and cons list of this product after testing them out for about a month. Alright, so my first pro is that after about a month of use, these bands are very well built, and I feel like they're going to last me a very long time. After using them, they really have no signs of really any wear and tear. They're not kind of where you get those bands that kind of are shaving away at the seams. I'm not really having any of that effect. Nothing looks like it's coming apart, and I think these could last a very long time. Next, the bands are a pretty good size overall, and these are loop bands, of course, so I can't manipulate the size too much. But for me, coming in at just under 5'11", the bands are actually pretty good size for me doing something like standard overhead presses or squats with them, or whatever you might want to do. Also, these bands are great for assistance-based work, and that's what I really love loop bands for, but these are no exception. The Wad Fitters bands, which I did a review, which are very, very, very similar to this product, are also, that's one of the main reasons I like them. So if you need assistance with things like pull-ups or dips, these are great for you. Also, I like these resistance bands mainly for major pull movements like the bent over row and deadlifts. I think if you struggle with these can really help to correct your form while providing excellent resistance, especially when you pull up the bands to provide a lot more tension. They really help get you past those sticking points you might be experiencing when having weights all the way down. Instead, you can get to the top of the motion and get a great contraction with most of the major pulling movements. Also, you don't need any attachments for these bands. Because these are loop style bands, they, again, don't have any handles or anything you're putting on them. Unfortunately, the product doesn't come with a door stopper, which I'll get into in a minute, but really, these are just great overall loop bands that you can use from the comfort of home if you don't want to have any other kind of accessories lying around. Alright, and with that out of the way, let's jump into my cons list. So my first con is I tested this product with both the gloves and without the gloves, and I must say that when you get into really high resistance, with especially pushing movements, these can be very hard on the outer portions of your hand without the gloves. That's something I noticed with loop bands. So something like overhead presses, when you're pressing overhead and you're using really heavy weight, it can be very tough on the outer portions of your hand because a lot of that pressure is pushing the hand in together with those bands as they get more tension in the band itself. So with the gloves, these actually work pretty well. It helped to negate it a bit, but I still felt it even using the gloves. But without it, this can be very hard, especially for someone who's not used to using bands. It can be very tough for a while with that pressure pushing in on either side of your palm. My next con is that these can be very awkward to use with some exercises. Now, I did take a look at the guy who created this product, the UnderSun product, and he has a lot of tutorial videos online. However, many of the movements he has, something like the squats where he actually has his hands fully extended overhead, which he helps like promote better posture and stuff throughout the exercise and better technique. Those can be very awkward to actually get into, especially if you don't really use bands, you haven't really used them before. It can be very, very weird to get into position for the exercise. And then if you're adding in more and more weight, it can just get really, really awkward to do, mainly pushing movements. Again, I love this product with major pull movements. I think it's great. But the pushing movements for me are just awkward and weird to do. My next con is that all these bands are the same color. The reason why this is a con is because, especially at the lower resistance weights, this product, you might pick up the wrong weight thinking that you have the correct one. I know especially with the light and medium bands, I get those ones mixed up all the time if I don't actually look at the labeling on the bands. So the bands themselves actually have the word written which weight it is at. So it has like light, medium, heavy, and X heavy, that kind of thing, written right on it. But if you're not paying attention, you're going kind of quick between them, you might pick the wrong one. And I did that multiple times. And then I was like, oh, I actually picked the wrong one, looked at it and said, yes, it was the wrong one. So something to look out for, especially with that light and medium bands. That one I got messed up all the time. Now, something like the Wad Fitters bands, they are different colors, which is pretty cool. So they have color-coded ones, where here they all are orange. And I think that's the reason why I mainly ran into this issue. And my last con for this product is that they are very expensive for what you receive, in my opinion. Now, if it was the bands with the gloves and a door stopper, maybe then I could see it coming in at around $88. But the gloves themselves being $34, that is super pricey for what they are. Really, they're just like pretty much baseball gloves, in my opinion, with padding on the outside. I don't think they should be worth $34. Also, it's just 5 loop bands. These can't be that much to manufacture and create, then ship out. It's literally just 5 bands. I know they might have been tested and graded and all that stuff, but $88 for this product and then another $34 on top of that. It doesn't even come with a door stopper. I know I don't use door stop that much because I've been hurt in the past by using doors, but I know many of you want to actually use a door stopper to perform many of the exercises, and coming in at a price of $88 plus $34 and not having the door stopper is pretty pricey, in my opinion. It was one of my cons also for the Wad Fitters, and theirs are around the same pricing, but they actually came with additional things like a door stopper, and this one, not having one, is a big no in my opinion. So the last question I always like to ask myself in these reviews is, would I buy this product again? And while I love resistance bands for my training, you know, if you see my U-POWEX bands, I love those things. While I do love resistance bands, I still have not fallen in love with loop bands. It's not that the product is all that bad, it's that I really don't care to use loop bands for my training that much. I really want to fall in love with them because I just don't want to have the extra attachments. But every time I use them, I remember why I don't like them in the first place. There are a lot of pros, don't get me wrong. There's a lot of good pros, and if you think this outweighs the cons for you, by all means, this would be a great product for you, and I think it has the durability to last. But personally for me, in my current training, I just don't see it. Maybe I swap them in every once in a while to do things like bent over rows and deadlifts, especially if I'm getting a sticking point and I want to get past that. But for me right now, I wouldn't say that I would buy this in the future, especially at the current price it is right now. Alright, and that is it for this review on the UnderSun loop resistance bands. If you did like this review, please like and subscribe for more reviews on GamerBody just like this one. Also, please make sure to head over to GamerBody.com. There you can check out my current training routine, the equipment I own and use in my current training program, as well as any other resources I'm using to continue to make my program better and build muscle and confidence, all from the comfort of home. And that is it. So again, please like and subscribe, and I will see you all in the next video. Be fit and game on.